Good morning, folks. It is just past 8 a.m. Central Standard Time on May 20th, 2022. Hope our creators are keeping you well and safe wherever you are in the world. Please make sure to hit that like button and share this across other platforms so we can let people know what's going on out in our solar system and right here on our planet. If you're new to the channel, please make sure you hit subscribe and hit that notification bell in case we have any critical future updates. We are currently looking at spaceweatherlive.com, and we are looking at our solar flare activity. And as we can see, over the past couple of days, it has been relatively quiet. Henceforth, my absence hasn't been anything major to talk about in weather. We've had a couple of C pops, but we're actually our baseline is coming back down into the mid B range, which is always good. And as we can see from a couple of days ago, we did have that one M flare. However, at this current time, we actually got an impact overnight. We're actually going to come on up here to our KP index, and as we take a look at our KP index, we can actually see this right here. This is our estimated Planetary K Index. And over here at College Station, we actually did get up into a KP7, which is quite high. Now this is College Station here in the United States, Texas. KP7 is a pretty major event. That's pretty hard hitting. Now what this is, folks, is you remember a couple days ago I told you guys about the solar winds that are going to be arriving, and that one coronal mass ejection that's going to be blending in with the solar winds. So it just seemed like a heavy hitting solar wind. It would just be a little more dense. That's exactly what we have here. So if you happen to have been an aurora watcher and you were outside, you were actually in a pretty good slot to get some good shots if you're out looking for aurora. So KP7, that is one that definitely should raise the eyebrows a little bit. And I'm not going to lie. Now granted, again, these are 3-hour blocks. Every one of these is a 3-hour block. So we don't know how long we were in the KP7. It could have literally been for 30 seconds when it was doing a reading. It could have been for 2 hours. We don't know. There's no way of actually finding that part of the information out. Unfortunately, I wish we could. That would be fantastic. However, as we back on up here, we can also see down here at the bottom, we're here at Solarham. And as we come on down here, this is where we want to take a look at. Here we can see our impact. We can see that we did get down to a -10 with our BZ, and once you get down below -6, we start having activity. And up here, our BT did get up close to 10, so we definitely got the impact here. But the density, look at this, the density picked up before before our poles reacted. So the density, remember I was telling you the density was going to be a little more dense. The density actually impacted before our speed went up, before the temperature went up. So that's actually pretty indicative of my original prediction or forecast, should I say, of it being a little more dense. So, but we are actually currently on the rebound, and we are actually doing really well with our BZ and BT. They're right close together, and we're right close to 0. So we are doing really well with that. Over here at Space Weather Prediction Center, coming over here to LASCO C2 and LASCO C3, we can start off and we can see this line right here. We can actually see that there's a Borg cube right here, and he is bending the light. But other than that, there's really not a whole lot to report. We did have this eruption. Do you see this right here? I'm thinking this was on the back side of the sun myself, because I'm not seeing any form of a halo effect coming off in this region whatsoever. Halo usually means it's coming straight at us, coming straight at the satellite. I think that's off the back side of the sun, although we did have some filament play this morning. Looking back again at LASCO C3 over here, there's actually quite a few Borg cubes. As you can see, there's one there, and we got another one there. That's right there. So there was some Borg cube activity rather, and we can clearly see that we have a ship here, and one was taken off right here. Now, the reason I say this is a ship, and I do mean literally a spaceship of some form. It's not a comet. It's not an asteroid. It's not a meteor. Those look like this. This right here is a comet slash meteor slash asteroid, whatever you want to call it. Here you can actually see the tail when it's kind of breaking up. So this is an actual like a sun diving meteor or asteroid or comet, whatever you want to call it. You can see that the tail here is very much different on not just the black and the red, but also in the ink filter. You can see that it's very different versus this. That's how we know that this right here is actually propulsion. This is that little trail of fla-la-la, and he was right close to the satellite when he actually took off. And as we are over here at the GOES 16, let me pause this real quick. We're at GOES 16, 304 angstroms of light over on spaceweatherpredictioncenter.noaa.gov, and as we can see, we've actually got something going on over here, and it is moving. that's a pretty wicked looking movement going on over there. We're going to have to go and take a peek at that on the SDO. And as we come over here to ISWA, we're going to take a look at SDO 304 first. We are going to zoom right in on here, and we're going to see not just this dancing filament over here, but this is as of yesterday, so that eruption that looked like it happened over here on this side that came off, I'm not really seeing anything. The only thing that I can manage to see here is this little filament dance. It didn't really erupt. It stayed on the surface of the sun, even though it's really pretty to watch it dance. It kind of like, whoa, gets a little alarming, but it does not actually leave out into space. You can see that it stayed right there. The sun kept a hold of it, so that's always good, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm not really sure about that there on the right side of the sun over here. This right here, that's definitely a very interesting filament dance. That's for sure. Now, did you guys happen to catch that little friend down there in the right corner, right? There. Got ourselves a nice little friend right here, and actually it almost looks like a manta ray. There appears to be like a tail coming off of it. That's a very interesting looking one. And then actually as we come over here and we get to the last frame, we've got another one right here. There's all kinds of friends out there. Now to do an extra look, we're going to take a look at the 171. We're going to... Bloody hell. Sorry about that. We're going to come in here on the 171st, and we're going to see if we can find any filament dancing on this side over here where that eruption was. And I'm not really seeing anything, so that's pretty indicative, telling me that it's straight off the backside from Lascaux C2 and C3. It's not able to be seen here. You don't see any filament movement, so that's telling me it was off the backside only, nothing off the side or off the front for us to be able to view. So we're in a good spot for that at the moment. But these filaments sure are nice to look at for a moment. Now we're going to come back over here to spaceweatherpredictioncenter.noaa.gov, and we're actually going to take a look here at our pressure. This is from our arriving solar winds and that little bit of coronal mass ejection that did blend in with it. Now take a look at our pressure here. If you take a look here, you can see that we're actually back here dancing on -20, and that's kind of okay. That was an impact right there. When you seen that, when you seen the Earth boom, when you seen all that, that was an impact. Okay, from the higher, denser winds. So it's doing all right for now. We are dancing at -20, which is okay. I've seen it all the way back here at 30, and I think about 35 to 36. So this right here, it's just a little bit denser solar wind. So nothing to worry about. That's just from the pressure. We have pressure on the front and on the back side of the planet. And our density, well, there is definitely some density going with it, like I was saying. And this is our density geospace model for our movies, showing us the density. And there's that impact again. You can see it just kind of ripple down, boom. So there's definitely some activity, but shouldn't be anything major. And we're going to look over here at our Italian model for our Schumann. And this is our electromagnetic field. And as we can see, the geophones are kind of sounding off. We can see the color differences, how it's starting to ramp up here. So there might be something going on there. Our geophone, well, we can see little red peaks here coming over here to our actual Schumann resonance. Now, do you see these right here? All these these teeny little red spikes? These are actually indicative of lightning strikes. That means there's lightning close by. That's what these little guys are. Okay, we can see the geophones here. You can see little hits here. Now, this is not a lightning strike. These are not lightning storms. This would have been like possible lightning here. But then, if you notice here, somebody literally is like someone flipped a switch, bink, and it just stayed up and on. And then, oh, it's going to come back down, and then psych, and then somebody turned the switch back on. And it happened the same thing here on this day, which happened to be May the 23rd. And then the 24th, looks like they did the same thing here on the 25th. Like right here, somebody just popped it on. So, not sure what's going on over there. I'm not sure if it's CERN that's firing up and what the deal is, but I don't know. It's very interesting to say the least. Coming over here to our Russian model over in Tomsk, Russia. These right here would also, again, be somewhat indicative of possible lightning strikes. but it's showing the power, overall power today is at 40, 42, and 36. And where they get those numbers is from here. Okay. So we're doing all right at the moment. Things are acting a little funny. We do have some alignments and things. Let me show you. Over at theplanetstoday.com, we can see that we've got our alignments. We've got some more alignments going on here. Now that we're out of Venus with the alignment of Sol, but we still have Mars and Saturn. Actually, Mars and Saturn are actually in conjunction as we speak, actually. And Jupiter and Neptune still have that alignment with the Sun as well as us. Now, actually, from Earth, if you were to try viewing Venus, it is actually hiding behind the Moon at this time. So if you were trying to view it, it would be like just barely. I mean, you'd have to have a really good scope with the light dimmed down in order to see Venus beyond the Moon at this time. But it is visible, but just barely. All right, and I can actually show you guys a picture of that right here. We're going to come over to spaceweather.com and check this out, folks. A meteor outburst possibly next week. Okay, in late 1995, comet 73P Schwarzmann-Wachmann 3 exploded. Next week, some of the debris might hit Earth, so we're going to be going into its tail from the explosion. Multiple forecasters are agreeing that a meteor shower could erupt on May 31st when Earth runs into one or more debris streams from comet 73P. The display could be as intense as a meteor storm, 1,000 or more meteors per hour, or as weak as nothing at all. How can you be that vague on it? I don't know. No one knows how much debris is inside the approaching streams, so meteor rates are hard to estimate. That seems a little suspicious to me. I'm not even going to lie to you. How can you go, oh, there could be 1,000 or more, or none at all? What? How can you? That doesn't make any sense to me. That makes zero sense. I have a feeling that things might be falling out of the sky, but I don't know if they're going to be meteors. This is kind of like it's a possibility. That's my opinion. Okay, but just because I know a lot of funny stuff is going on, so get outside if you happen to be around on May 31st in the evening and take a look. This is actually going to be your best opportunity for seeing them right here. So North America, we're definitely in a good position for it. You got your 90%. And you got 80, or excuse me, this would be 100, 90, 80, 70. So this is actually a really good percentage or degree of being able to see them. And I happen to be right here, so I'm going to have a good opportunity to get outside and take a look. Why don't some of you guys join me? One of my subs who also has a channel, Brittany Has Eyes. You're over in Missouri. See if you can get outside and see something, hon. And this right here, these photographs were actually taken by a photographer and uploaded to spaceweather.com with his really good telescope, and he had everything turned on like I was telling you, and he was actually able to take these pictures as the Venus was going behind the Moon, just like this. Pretty cool to watch. As we come towards the bottom of spaceweather.com, taking a look at our meteors, today is the 28th, and we've only got a couple that they have highlighted pink. 2 lunar distances, so 2 times the distance between us and the Moon, and then the next one would be 3.6. We're looking at 8 meters and 13 meters in diameter. The 8 meter would definitely break up in the atmosphere. 13, yeah, that could reach, but again, it's 3.6 lunar distances away, so it's not such a big deal. And I'm not really seeing anything of any grave importance of size to be concerned about, or closeness or anything. So I think we're going to be doing okay. The closest one we had, believe it or not, actually was up here on the 22nd. It was 0.2 lunar distances, and it was 6 meters. 6 meters being about 18 feet. This probably impacted the Earth. I'm not going to lie to you. When you start getting anything at 0.5 and less, odds are it's got a pretty good chance of hitting, especially at 0.2. In my opinion, in my viewpoints, it struck Earth. But it just burnt up in the atmosphere. So eyes open, no fear, and remember that love is the only way forward. Solar Wolf out.